Hey, Portia, how you doing? Thank you so much for sharing your ad. I've seen this campaign before. It's really interesting. It's at Hunger Games. And in other pieces in this campaign, they actually show the image and the effect of the makeup and the way that the products are used to create the look. And then they actually feature the products that are used in the image so that if you wanted to duplicate that look, I'm not real sure how feasible it would be to duplicate this look for a night out on the town, right? I mean, pretty unusual. Nonetheless, um, an interesting campaign. Thank you very much for sharing. I think that your description is quite accurate. Good job. Asymmetry. You mentioned the use of negative space, and I think that's interesting. In a way, I'm kind of forced to think that this negative space is more used as leftover space based on the image itself, and not so much as a really planned and contrived negative space. Do you see what I'm saying? There's a difference between leftover space and negative space used as a design element. What we're after as designers is using negative space as a design element. Let me show you an example. We come over here to the announcements, and right here, this is negative space that's used as a design element. I mean, obviously this designer has created a separation here and wants that to be part of the message, as opposed to other ads where we see just the white space, the negative space, is just seems to be areas where positive shapes or elements aren't. So it's basically leftover space. Does that make sense? Let me know if it doesn't. I'll be glad to clarify because it's a pretty important principle of design. Okay, so let's go back to the ad. I think, yeah, again, really good job describing everything. Now I want to talk about two things. One of the and I'm going to give you a question. I'd like you to address this question here in response to the video. But one of the things that I think that one of the best ways to understand balance is to kind of deconstruct the balance and kind of reassemble the balance to kind of see how things work out. That said, I want you to think about this. And this is your question. How would the feel? Okay, you know how this makes you feel, this piece, when you look at it. You chose it for a reason. You wrote about it for a reason. You've got a relationship with this composition. You do. I mean, you're familiar with it. You've got a relationship. How does it make you feel? What does it make you feel? Okay? Take those feelings, and then we take this composition and we do two things. Number one, we reduce the heck out of here. So we're going to reduce the scale, redistributing the visual weight, redistributing the balance. So we're going to take her and we bring her about this big, right? Then we increase the size of the type right over here. All right, so she's much smaller. The type is a little bit bigger. There's going to be more negative space, right? But imagine that, okay? Now, how would that composition make you feel? In other words, if we redistribute the weight here, how would it change the general feel and the communicative value of the piece itself? Think about it. Think about it before you answer, and I'm really interested in hearing your answer. All right, great job, Porsha. Thanks so much for sharing.